Delhi, India's capital city, a place of power, politics, history, and increasingly a battlefield. Beneath the crowded streets, luxury apartments, and late-night clubs, another world exists. One that thrives in shadows. A world fueled by drugs, money, and silence. For years, law enforcement warned that Delhi was becoming a key node in an international narcotics network. Cocaine, MDMA, synthetic party drugs, not moving through jungles or deserts, but through WhatsApp messages, Instagram DMs, burner phones, and encrypted apps. Then, in late 2024 and early 2025, Delhi police made an announcement. They had dismantled a Nigerian-linked international drug syndicate operating right inside the city, a network connected to global supply chains stretching from Africa to Europe and deep into India's nightlife scene. The arrests shocked the public. The details were darker than anyone expected. Tonight, we break down how this syndicate operated, who was involved, how police tracked them, and what this case reveals about modern drug trafficking. This is not just a story about drugs. It's a story about globalization, technology, crime, and the invisible war happening around us. For decades, India was primarily viewed as a transit country in global drug trafficking routes. But that perception changed. By the late 2010s, major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, and Goa began experiencing a surge in synthetic drug consumption, especially among young professionals, students, and elite party circles. Unlike heroin or cannabis, drugs like MDMA, ecstasy, cocaine, and LSD moved silently. They didn't require poppy fields or smuggling mules crossing borders on foot. They required something else: smartphones, digital payments, and trust. Delhi's underground party scene exploded. Private farmhouses, Airbnb apartments, after-hours clubs, invite-only raves. Where there was demand, supply followed. Police intelligence reports began flagging a pattern. Drugs sourced internationally, delivered through small, high-frequency transactions, coordinated almost entirely online. And one word kept appearing in reports: Nigerian networks. To understand this case, you must understand how modern drug syndicates work. Gone are the days when cartels relied only on brute force and territorial control. Today's networks are decentralized, digitally coordinated, and internationally connected. Nigerian-linked drug syndicates, in particular, have gained global attention over the last 2 decades. Operating across Africa, Europe, Southeast Asia, and India, these networks specialize in cocaine trafficking, synthetic drug distribution, money laundering, and cyber-enabled logistics. Unlike traditional cartels, these groups often function as cells, small units operating semi-independently but linked through trusted intermediaries. This structure makes them harder to detect and harder to dismantle. Delhi, with its massive population, international connections, and growing nightlife economy, became fertile ground. Delhi Police's crime branch began noticing unusual patterns in late 2023. Small drug seizures kept pointing back to the same clues: Nigerian phone numbers, repeated locations in South Delhi and Gurugram, payments routed through digital wallets and cryptocurrency, couriers who claimed they didn't know who they worked for. Under interrogation, low-level dealers described the same method. They never met their bosses. Orders came through messaging apps. Drop locations were sent minutes before delivery. Payments were split into small, untraceable amounts. One officer later described it as chasing ghosts. But then a breakthrough. In early 2025, Delhi police intercepted a mid-level courier during a routine check. Inside his bag, cocaine, MDMA pills, high-purity synthetic drugs worth millions of rupees. But this time, something was different. The courier's phone contained active chats, not deleted messages, not burner apps, but ongoing conversations with handlers abroad. For the first time, police weren't looking at fragments. They were looking at the network while it was alive. Investigators uncovered a sophisticated system. Drugs entered India via international couriers or concealed shipments. Warehouses were rented under fake identities. Local distributors handled micro-deliveries. Syndicate leaders operated remotely, often using Nigerian SIM cards and VPNs. Two Nigerian nationals emerged as key figures. Police alleged they coordinated operations, recruited local contacts, and managed supply chains. The drugs weren't just for Delhi. They were being redistributed across NCR, northern India, and even tourist hubs like Goa. One of the most disturbing revelations was how openly drugs were marketed, hidden in plain sight. Instagram stories with coded emojis, Snapchat messages that disappeared in seconds, Telegram channels accessible by invitation only. Buyers didn't meet dealers in dark alleys. They ordered drugs like food delivery. This wasn't street crime. This was platform-enabled trafficking. After months of surveillance, Delhi police moved in. Multiple locations were raided simultaneously. Luxury apartments, rented flats, hidden storage units. Drugs were seized. Phones confiscated. Digital wallets frozen. Two Nigerian nationals were arrested, accused of being core operators in the syndicate. For police, it was a major victory. For the underworld, it was a warning. This case wasn't isolated. It was part of a global pattern. Drug syndicates no longer rely on violence alone. They rely on anonymity, speed, and technology. Delhi was not the beginning, and it won't be the end. Cases like this raise difficult conversations. It's crucial to state clearly, crime has no nationality. While some syndicates involve foreign nationals, the vast majority of people from those countries are law-abiding residents and contributors to society. Law enforcement agencies emphasize this distinction, targeting networks, not communities. As of now, the accused face serious charges under India's Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. Investigations continue into international links, financial trails, additional accomplices. Police believe more arrests are possible. The streets of Delhi look the same. Traffic moves. People laugh. Life continues. But beneath it all, a silent war continues between those who profit from addiction and those trying to stop them. The takedown of this Nigerian-linked drug syndicate was a victory. But it was not the end. It was only one battle.